Welcome to Causeway Bay, where the rhythm of the city meets open green. We begin on the glass and steel bridge that links the Hong Kong Central Library to Victoria Park. The Hong Kong Central Library opened on 17th of May, 2001 and is a 12-story civic landmark that occupies about 33,800 meter of floor area. It serves as the flagship of the Hong Kong Public Libraries and holds roughly 1/5 of the system's total collection, around 2.5 million items. Infogov HK. Pause for a moment and feel that small shift in air. The city's volume softens here, replaced by a different kind of pulse, one made of footsteps across grass, conversations on benches, and the steady exchange between people and place. This bridge is a threshold between two very different kinds of public life. On one side, shelves, study lamps, quiet concentration, and the low murmur of pages turning inside a library that contains millions of items across lending, reference, and special collections. On the other, lawns, trees, and the messy, generous noise of a park. HPL Agviche, enter Victoria Park and let your senses open. The air smells faintly of cut grass and the city's distant exhaust. Listen, the rhythm of joggers on the paths, the soft punctuation of a dog's bark, the breath and measured movements of Tai Chi practitioners. There are clusters of people speaking different languages, street vendors arranging snacks, and small private scenes. A reader hunched over a paperback, an elderly couple sharing a thermos, children racing a kite beneath the sky. This bridge is a threshold between two very different kinds of public life. On one side, shelves, study lamps, quiet concentration, and the low murmur of pages turning. On the other, lawns, trees, and the messy, generous noise of a park. It's a useful reminder that civic space wears many forms. The library stores memory in books. The park keeps memory in gatherings, habits, and seasons. Enter Victoria Park and let your senses open. The air smells faintly of cut grass and the city's distant exhaust. Listen, the rhythm of joggers on the paths, the soft punctuation of a dog's bark, the breath and measured movements of Tai Chi practitioners. There are clusters of people speaking different languages, street vendors arranging snacks, and small private scenes. A reader hunched over a paperback, an elderly couple sharing a thermos, children racing a kite beneath the sky. Walk slowly between the trees. Notice how light pours through leaves in shafts that seem to slow time. The park's layers reveal themselves in details. The thick, twisting roots of banyan trees, the careful carving of a bench worn smooth by elbows and conversation, a small plaque marking an older name or an event. Parks are repositories not just of plants, but of everyday ritual. Morning exercise, weekly markets, festivals that return each year like the tide. As we move further in, the park's layout begins to lead us toward a different kind of presence. A quiet, formal corner where public memory takes a sculptural shape. Before we arrive, take in how the skyline frames the greenery. Glass towers rising like cliffs beyond the branches, neon glimpses through foliage, the city pressing close yet allowing this patch of calm to exist. Here stands the statue of Queen Victoria. The figure is at once monumental and oddly domestic when you stand near it. Carved features softened by time, a plinth that anchors it to the earth, inscriptions that invite curiosity. Statues are not neutral. They are conversation starters. For some, this statue is a historical artifact, a marker of a particular era in Hong Kong's layered past. For others, it is a prompt to question whose stories have been elevated and which have been left on the margins. Allow yourself to look closely. The folds of the robe, the tilt of the head, the way shadow plays across stone. These small things reveal how public art shapes what we remember. Around the statue, life continues with its usual variety. People sit on nearby benches reading. Teenagers pass by with bright backpacks. And an older man tends a small pocket of plants with a tenderness that makes the place feel looked after. There is a gentle tension here between memory and present use, between the monument's gravity and the ordinary acts that keep the park alive. When we leave the statue behind, we retrace our steps briefly toward the Central Library. Not to linger inside unless you wish, but to use its presence as a waypoint on our route into the streets of Causeway Bay. The library's facade is modern, civic-minded, and intentionally open. If you press your ear to the building, you can almost hear the whisper of study groups, the hush of exam season focus, the soft clack of keys as people research, create, and plan. Libraries like this are infrastructure for curiosity and community alike. Step down from the civic calm and into Causeway Bay's urban flow. The tempo changes, tram tracks hum beneath, shop fronts spill color and sound into the street, and a parade of storefronts, electronic shops, fashion windows, small family-run eateries, create a textured, sensory-rich corridor. The energy here is immediate and intoxicating. The city in motion, restless and productive. Follow the signs and the small cues that point toward another kind of refuge. Red lanterns swaying, a cluster of incense sellers, a narrow lane that promises a quiet pocket amid the bustle. These visual markers are the city's way of saying, heritage lives in the creases between commerce and modernity. You arrive at Tin Hau Temple and feel that same softening you noticed at the bridge. The temple's roof lines curve upward like a ship's bow, fitting for a shrine dedicated to the goddess of the sea. Every carved tile, painted beam, and guardian figure speaks to a tradition of craft and belief. Look at the roof's intricate dragons and curling motifs. They are not mere ornament, but a language of protection and blessing. Inside, the air is thick with incense and layered with years of prayer. The lighted wands, the careful placement of offerings, the gentle clink of coins in bowls. Worshippers move with intention, fingers touching altars, heads bowed, small conversations exchanged in the margins. If you listen closely, you may catch the soft repetitions of prayers or the low resonance of a bell. This is a living temple, not a frozen relic. Rituals continue here because people continue to bring their concerns, hopes, and thanks. Observe the small, intimate objects that make up the temple's economy of care. Handwritten notes tucked into corners, fruit offerings placed carefully on lacquered trays, fragrant joss sticks burned in respectful arcs. Each is a personal story folded into a larger communal practice, a thread that connects individual lives to broader patterns of faith and livelihood. Step outside again and take a breath. Notice how the temple sits within the urban fabric, a burst of color and carved form crammed between shop fronts and alleys, a clear sign of how Hong Kong layers past and present. It's a reminder that tradition often survives not by being set aside, but by being woven into daily life. As we finish this walk, reflect on what you've moved through: the quiet architectural geometry of the bridge, the open, changing life of Victoria Park, the contemplative presence of a statue, the civic warmth of the Central Library, and the enduring devotion at Tin Hau Temple. Each place offers a different mode of being together: reading, resting, remembering, working, worshipping. And all of these modes coexist within the compact geography of Causeway Bay. Thank you for joining this walk. If you enjoyed this deeper, slower look at the neighborhood, please like and subscribe for more walks that pay attention to the small details and layered stories of the city. Tell me in the comments which place you'd like to explore next: a rooftop garden, a back alley market, or another temple tucked away in plain sight. Until then, keep walking and noticing.